The Ohio State Buckeyes had their pro day today, and Justin Fields was phenomenal, but he wasn't the only one, and we need to get into it. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from y'all, so hop down to the comments and let me know where you think Justin Fields will go in the draft relative to other quarterbacks. I can't wait to hear from y'all. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification because I do constant college football content, player reviews, film analysis, talk style videos like this, and I'm on my push to 5,000 subscribers in my first year, and I'd love to have you along for the journey. And if you did enjoy this, be sure to like and comment down below. But with all that being said, let's talk about the Ohio State Pro Day. And a lot has been made in the past few weeks about the NFL draft and specifically the trades that have led up to today. With the 49ers trading to number 3, a lot has been made about what decision the 49ers are going to make relative to quarterbacks. Now, even more was made about that when Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch went to the Alabama Pro Day over the Ohio State one, but this really isn't a big deal. Sure, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were intrigued by Mac Jones, and why wouldn't they be? He had a phenomenal senior season. He played a great year, setting a awesome stat line with a 77% completion percentage. He is pinpoint accurate. But the reason it's really nothing to worry about is because Shanahan is familiar with Justin Fields. It's not like he isn't going to get another opportunity even after this. And really, Justin Fields' pro day and film speaks for itself. So when I saw him work out today, the first thing that blew me away was the 4.440. Now, I understand that even he was disappointed with that because it even came on a stumble, but that is blazing. Even if it was a perfectly run 40 and your quarterback is running a 4.4, I'm more than happy with that. The fact that he wasn't happy with that, I almost chuckled because I was just like, man, that just goes to show how unbelievably athletic this guy is, because I thought that that was an incredible time, even though I knew that it was supposed to be a 4.3. Ohio State says he runs 4.3s. I'm not saying that he doesn't. I have no idea. I haven't seen. But even if he didn't, even if the highest he'd ran was a 4.4, that's still really, really good for a quarterback, and he's a quarterback that's built really well. He's not just a skinny guy. He's got a good body to put on more weight, and you have to like the chances. Now, a lot of talk has been made about the order of the quarterbacks, and look, with Justin Fields, with his speed, with his arm talent, he has easily one of the highest ceilings in this draft, and it's because of that reason, if he's available at number 3, as much as I like Mac Jones, clearly, right? I mean, I'm a big Mac Jones fan. It's going to be hard to not take Justin Fields when he put together a pro day that included a 4.440, and then he was wowing with his throws. But Justin had a great pro day today. And it didn't even revolve around the 40. And that's incredible to think about when you see a quarterback run a 4.440, and then you think, well, maybe the most impressive part wasn't even that, and it wasn't. The most impressive part was that throw he had where he rolled out to the left and put it on an absolute dime. That's the type of throw that Zach Wilson made the day before that was blowing up the internet. The difference is Justin Fields did this while running a 4.440 and while posting video game numbers in the Big Ten. I'm not throwing a diss at BYU. You don't want to play BYU. Everybody knows this. They're not the team anybody's excited to line up with because they're a competitive team. But the truth of the matter is Justin Fields did this against Clemson. Justin Fields played Alabama. Justin Fields did this in big games throughout his entire college career. And because of that, this is a very, very intriguing draft for the quarterback position, and if Fields is available for number 3, it's hard to justify not taking him when he has the arm talent, the arm strength, the resume, and then that 4.440. That right there alone is going to bail you out of a lot of bad situations, and once again, I really like Mac Jones, clearly, as the sign behind me shows, right? But it's hard to justify spending 3 first-round picks for Mac Jones when you think he would be there anywhere from that 10 to 15 range. That's just very hard to justify, and that kind of makes me think it's Justin Fields. But even though Justin Fields had an incredible day, he wasn't the only one. Trey Sermon had himself a day out there as well. You know, Trey Sermon came in, ran a 4.6 and then a 4.57 40, and I'm not too worried about that. Josh Jacobs ran a high 4.5 and 4.6 40, Alvin Kamara ran a high 4.5 40. The tape doesn't lie when it comes to some of these running back speeds, and the 40 can be incredibly misleading because there have been a lot of NFL running backs come out recently whose 40 times weren't all that impressive, but when you watch them in game, they look faster than anybody and they're incredibly slippery. So I have no stock and no negative stock at all into Sermon's time. I think that he had a great vertical with 37 inches, especially given that he's 6'3" and 215 pounds, is a very athletic guy. But another guy who I thought really did himself a lot of favors was Baron Browning. Baron Browning, outside linebacker, is one of the more intriguing prospects because if you put a lot of stock into Pro Football Focus, he was rated very highly both in the passing game and in the run stop, and actually was the only linebacker to grade as a B in both of those categories. And so he's going to be an incredibly intriguing pick in this year's NFL draft. And he went out there today and ran a 4.58 and a 4.59 40. Now look, I understand that these are hand-timed, but the fact that you can replicate down to that level of consistency on your 40-yard dash tells me that you're around that speed. You get what I'm saying? Like if you go out there and you run a 4.4 and then you run a 4.58, there could be some questions about, okay, well, are you just a fast starter? Do you only have some reps in you? But then if you go out there and you run a 4.58 and then a 4.59, everybody knows, like, nah, you are this dude through and through. It's only going to help your case. It's not going to hurt a whole lot if you don't, but it's just impressive when you do. And so even though I think some other guys had some big days, there are going to be a lot of talk about the linebackers for the Ohio State Buckeyes because I think they're a talented group, but they're a group that kind of got picked on. And Browning right now seems to be the guy that could be the one to kind of break through that mold and really establish himself as a front runner for his position in the NFL draft. But I'm really intrigued as to what y'all think about Justin Fields and his pro day today because I was very impressed. I already knew he had an incredibly high ceiling. I mean, he has all the arm talent in the world. And so that's why I wasn't just like blown away that he went out there and did it, but it's always impressive to see somebody do what they're capable of and put it on display. It was really awesome to see that throw, especially because just a few days ago, we got the Zach Wilson throw, which Justin Fields pretty much well replicated, and then also did that with running a 4.4 40 while stumbling. Truly awesome stuff. Can't wait to hear what y'all are thinking. What do you think of Justin Fields' draft stock looks like after his pro day? That's it. See ya.